I can assure you from the level of, at the GFF level, you have absolute independence and autonomy in terms of selecting your squad and deciding on your fixtures.
The only way we can succeed is together. I, in my time in the game, have been in many countries with many teams, many federations, and often the problems arise when there is not unity, when there is not togetherness. And so to see how closely the government of the Gambia, how the National Sports Council, how the Ministry, and how the Football Federation are coming together for the future success of football in this country gives me huge hope for not just the next 2 years together, but hopefully many years beyond that as well.
And some of us, when we reported this somewhere that we had 90 applicants, colleagues were surprised that Little Gambia would attract that huge number of applicants for the role of a coach. But like others said, it is not a surprise because every coach out there who follows the Gambian team would know that we have registered a progressive success over the past years in our football.
Honorable Lamin Kababajo, the chairman of the National Sports Council, Lamin S. Jawara, the executive director, acting executive director of the National Sports Council, Mahmoud L. Jawla, the General Secretary and CEO of the Gambia Football Federation, the Honorable Lamin M. Jassi, and of course, the protagonist of today's occasion, the Honorable Jonathan McKenster, the new Scorpions Gaffer of the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the list of the members of the high table. Allow me to also single out executive committee members of the Gambia Football Federation, second vice president and head of competitions, Mr. Ibu Faye, executive committee member, Auntie Aret Njai Ja, council member of the National Sports Council, Mr. Musa Mbai, Musa Mendy rather, my apologies, Mr. Mendy, Mr. Emonjai, another council member of the National Sports Council, Honorable Pa Malik Sise, you are most welcome, the staff of the National Sports Council, Mr. Kolira, Mr. Alhaji Abdullahi Bojan, Mr. Ibrahim Sega of the National Sports Council, members of the media fraternity, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. The National Scorpions Fans Club, thank you very much, by the way, congratulations. Good job. All the way from Chess yesterday, and today you are with us here. Thank you so very much. Today is the unveiling of the new head coach for the national team of the Gambia. We will not bore you with a long speech. We will just go by the itinerary. And my apologies for skipping off the national team manager of the Scorpions, Osman Drame Cho. And the technical staff of the national team. Let me begin with assistant coach, Alaji Sa, goalkeeper coach, Alaji Morom, communications and media officer of the national team, Babakar Kamara, equipment and kits manager, Mustafa Kasama. Of course, Abdullahi Damfa is also part of the technical backup, and all other members of the technical team. Thank you very much for coming. Mr. Abbas Ba, thank you very much, and you are most welcome. He's the executive director of the President's International NYSS, National Youth Service Scheme. Thank you very much, Abbas. Members of the media fraternity, once again, thank you very much for coming. We have a lineup of program, activities that we are going to abide by. And of course, the guests are already seated. We will go straight to other items as per our itinerary. And my co-MC, Aidaba from the National Sports Council, will take us through, and later I will also come and interject. Honey, you are most welcome.
Thank you so much, Honey. Good morning, everyone. My executive director is already like, but you don't have to wait for the part of the story why he calls me Honey. Okay. But he's forever my honey. Like my fellow co-MC said, we've already gone around the arrivals and all that. Now, the opening prayers were already done. Next on the program, we will have the welcoming statement by the chairman of the National Sports Council, followed by a statement from the Gambia Football Federation, and that will be done by the president, who is no other person than Lamin Kababajo. Then we have the Honorable Minister's statement, to be followed by the unveiling and signing ceremony, which the acting executive director of the National Sports Council will do to elaborate and explain the entire process that have been done leading to the signing ceremony today. From that, we will have the statement by the guy himself, no other person than the head coach of the senior national football team. He's the main man, or the reason why we are all gathered here this morning. We will have the vote of thanks to be done by the GFF CEO and General Secretary, Mr. Lamin Jase, to be followed by our press conference. We all believe that it is important to have the press conference because we have the Honey, our colleagues have been waiting to ask a whole lot of questions regarding the process and a whole lot of things. So this is why we've just decided to give you the opportunity, knowing that the team within a very short period will assemble and prepare for their upcoming qualifying matches. So this is why we decided to give the press the opportunity to ask most of the questions that they want to do. So we will dedicate some amount of time for the press conference. That was it, a run-through of the program guide.
Thank you. Without much ado, we will hand over the baton to the chairman of the National Sports Council to make the welcoming statement.
Mr. Yara, the stage is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balde and Aidaba. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to everyone. I just want to say I have a very simple task to do today, that is to just do the welcoming. But before we actually go to the welcoming, I want to seize this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of my boss, the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, my brother, the President of the Gambian Football Federation, Honorable Kaba Bajo, the CEO, who is no other person, but Lamin Jase as the Secretary General to the Gambian Football Federation, and my own staff, Acting Executive Director of the National Sports Council, Mr. Mahmoud Jawla. We also want to acknowledge the presence of the executive members of the Gambia Football Federation, the technical team who are supposed to work with the coach, and I acknowledge the presence of the representative of the National Sports Council members here, in the names of Mr. Alhaji Musa Mendi and Emo Jai, the staff of National Sports Council, the staff of the Gambia Football Federation, the media present here today, I acknowledge your presence. And I finally acknowledge the presence of our brand new, our hope, and somebody we trusted, who is no other person but our coach, Jonathan McKinstry. We acknowledge your presence. I especially acknowledge the presence of the Scorpions Fans Club. I envy them because without fans, no team would be brave to face opponents. When you go to wrestle, in our traditional ways, those who clap and give you courage are part of your biggest strength. So I acknowledge your presence, the National Scorpions Fans Club. We want to seize this opportunity on behalf of the National Sports Council to say that the Gambia is a lucky country. We are lucky in the sense that we are small but pepe. The name of the Gambia in football has gone beyond where everybody thought we are. Those who know, know. We already established the ground. We already have a status quo that we have earned ourselves. We are letting Mr. McKinstry to know that he may have a very light job to do, in the sense that you have a technical team that are always available to do their best, and they will give you the right support that you need. The rest assured. Let me also assure you that the Gambia is a country that is a fast-growing nation in the development of football in this present generation. No country is growing faster than the Gambia, let me let you know that. You have all the opportunities. So the resources are available in terms of human capital. We just want to assure you that the Gambia is a country that is known for its peacefulness. This is why we are the only country that has a name, the Smiling Coast of Africa. You will keep smiling. Here to the general public, this selection of the coach, the executive director will let you know, has gone through a very careful and thorough and rigorous screening out of a number of almost 90 applicants. If you pass through a rigorous screening and happen to be the one who stands out than all the 90, there are a lot of expectations. And we hope our expectations will be achieved, because we have seen in you that commitment, and we think it is possible. So people should be assured that the process has gone through the standards that are required to identify the best for the country. And we hope we have the best for the country. However, the Gambia is a country, like I said earlier, that is not a low-level standard as it is now. So you have all the opportunities, explore them, and you get the best out of them. The rest assured, my statement is just to give a welcoming statement. Before I close, we all know the Ministry of Youth and Sports. It has about 6 satellite institutions, and anything that we do as a ministry, we all work together. So I therefore finally acknowledge the presence of 2 executive directors who are present with us, who are also heading units or satellite institutions of the ministry. Honorable Pamalik Nandi, we acknowledge and appreciate your coming. And my brother Abbas, Pamalik Sise and my brother Abbas, we appreciate your coming. And we hope this kind of relationship will continue, because we work together and we see each other as a family. So we appreciate your coming. Thank you for coming. Finally, I seize this opportunity to welcome everybody who is present here, and we appreciate your coming. Let's remember, this is a historic event, and we should all be proud to be associated with this event so that we will be in the history books. Thank you for your coming.
Thank you so much, Chairman of the National Sports Council, Mr. Lamin Jawara. Thank you so much. You don't have to be reminded that Gambia's #1 supporter is in the hall, Iliman Jane. Thank you. Like the chairman did appreciate and thank the Scorpions fan club, I would also definitely applaud and congratulate them. Like he said, BB said they've just returned from chess. Without a break, they're here, and no one called or sent them a written invitation to say you are supposed to be here. So this is what it means to be a national supporter. Thank you. We need to be recognized for that. Next, according to the program guide, we have the able president of the Gambia Football Federation, who is no other person than Lamin Kababayo, to come on stage. I will allow any man to do that, because I know you can do everything for
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ida and Bibi, the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, the Chairman of the National Sports Council, my dear brother, the Acting Executive Director of the National Sports Council, Coach Jonathan, the General Secretary, Gambia Football Federation, the Executive Directors of the National Youth Service Scheme, and also the President's International Award, I think, Honorable Pamalik and Abbas Ba, the members of the National Sports Council, senior staff of the ministry, members of the GFF Executive Committee, headed by the second Vice President, who is also head of the technical and competition wings of the Gambia Football Federation, Mr. Bufai. The President of the Gambia Coaches Association and members of the coaches are present here. The technical staff, the backroom staff of for Coach Jonathan, members of the press, not forgetting the gallant Scorpion Fans Club. I also want to elaborate on the efforts that they make to spice up our gatherings anytime, and this one is not an exception. We wouldn't have expected them here because of the long journey they had to take yesterday from Chess to Gambia, so we are much appreciative for your coming. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic occasion for Gambian football in our endeavors to provide the best for the country, to meet the aspirations and desires of the football fans and lovers of football in the country and beyond. I think this is the first of its kind that we organize this joint unveiling ceremony. You already recall we had hired coaches in the past. I think since 2014, when this current administration came into office, Jonathan would be the fourth coach, but he's lucky to have this to preside over such a ceremony. Thanks to the very healthy collaboration between the Football Federation and the government, without which we will not be able to be assembled here today celebrating this monumental achievement. So, Honorable Minister, our gratitude to you and to the President and the government through you for really enabling, creating this enabling environment so where we are today. I think, as alluded to by the previous speaker, my brother chairman, the Gambia is a football country #1. We have had a series of success and glories in the past, but the transition or the development that really we are able to achieve from 2014 to today is unprecedented, and more importantly from 2017 when the new government came in because of the the renewed support, the increased support and collaboration that we enjoyed with the government has never been the same. Hence, the achievements that we are all celebrating together. If we did not work as a team and accepting its shortcomings here and there as life, we would not be here today. We would be fighting as has been happening in the past. And whilst we are fighting, others are developing. Sometimes we ask ourselves, we have Gambians saying that, oh, we are ahead of X country, we are ahead of X country, look at them now. Yes, I will repeat this. When they were working, we were fighting. We had almost a decade of fighting this country in football, isn't it? We had about 2 normalizations. We had an executive committee that did not live even 1 year. How do you expect us to progress? They were working, they had continuity, they solidified themselves, because it couldn't happen 1 year. But the results are there. The benefits of that, of unity and working together, is what we are celebrating today, from 2017, I could say, to today. So let's continue the spirit, and we have no doubt that that will continue under the leadership of the Honorable Minister and His Excellency, the President of the country. The Gambia is endowed, I repeat, with a lot of talents. And I'm sure Jonathan knows that than any of us. Because I'm sure, even before aspiring to head the national team Scorpions, he had already done his research. And from the day that he submitted his application or expressed his interest, he has been following the developments. We all learned a lot from the past coach in terms of trying to unravel rather, this number of potentials across the globe, both locally and internationally. He didn't have an easy task, but I know you will live up to it. What I can assure you from the level of, at the GFF level, you have absolute independence and autonomy in terms of selecting your squad and deciding on your fixtures. That has never been an issue between us and the past 3 coaches, including our own Sandong. The least we could do is, at the level of federation, what we do sometimes, coaches will try to convince a particular player to come and play for his country of origin or birth, because maybe he left the country very young and grew up in somewhere in Europe or somewhere else, or maybe was a product of either a Gambian mother or a Gambian father over there, and has grown up and has the talents for him to come back, to come and play for the country. When the coach, face some obstacles, sometimes appeal to us, especially through myself, to talk to the person or to his parents or to his agents. That's the only place that we have. Anytime people have Gambians living across who want to play for the national team or want their families to come and play for the team, all we could do is just send the details to the coach, you decide. So I want to really stamp that and make it categorically very clear. It has never happened. It's not our business, it's not our interest. Because otherwise, God forbid, if the worst happens, you would say, I didn't have free hand. They have been dictated. The president asked me to play Y or select X. That's the last thing we'll do at the level of GFF. So I can really assure you of that. And not neither from the GFF could not do it. I cannot see how the government will also do it. So be assured of that. As the chairman said, the process, I don't want to repeat that, maybe the executive director will say that, has been very collaborative between the ministry and the Football Federation, spearheaded by the Technical Development Committee, because a little bit enhanced, but with more extra, capacity to be able to help the process. And alhamdulillah, we had gone very far and we were able to arrive at what we are here to sign today. At the level of the Gambia Football Federation, as I said, we'll continue to give our best to implement our objective and our duties as leadership of football in the country. We cannot afford to slide back. We have enjoyed and we tested what progress is and what victories are over the years, and we will do everything within our means and in close collaboration with all partners, especially with the government, to ensure that the trend will not only continue, but we move from higher heights. We still have the hope that with this new leadership in the coaching family, we can only add more glories to the boys. The materials are there. There are thousands of them outside there. The choice is yours to put them together in any way you want. We'll give everything possible and also create a conducive environment within our means to ensure that you have the wherewithals to be able to execute your mandate. For the general public and for the football fans, please bear with us. We are very much appreciative of your support. And then even the criticism that comes from you are always appreciated. For me, as I say, criticisms only make us better. If you criticize me wrongly, you alert me to be careful of what you criticize me for, so that I will not do it. If it's in the right track, the right one, then I change. Simple. It can only make one better. And we are always very much available for any consultation, for any other clarification and information, as much as we could give. On that note, once again, welcome to the Gambia, Jonathan. Once again, Honorable Minister and your colleagues, the ministry and the satellite institutions, and the government, because the government is not only one person. You will not be able to achieve all this without the support of your other colleagues. We are aware of a cabinet subcommittee on sports, who are also giving you their maximum on the directive of the President of the Republic. So our gratitude and appreciation to them. And once again, we wish to reassure you we are in it together. We'll complement each other's efforts as much as we could, as we've been doing in the past, and that will not relent unless it increases. On that note, thank you very much. May Allah bless this Ghana. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, thank you so much. The two takeaway from his statement is that we have to stop fighting and work together, because this is what would help develop this country, develop sports, and in this to the next level. When people were growing and developing, we were busy fighting, and now this is the time to hopefully, if they can. Most importantly, the independence of the coach for the GFF administration and executive. He did assure and say that they always leave the independence of team selection to the coach, and that is something very key. So I felt it was really highlight on one of or two of those key issues he raised. Next, according to the program, is the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports. And like I would always say, Iliman here is here to do all the proper introduction of these two people, especially the Honorable Minister. Ngana naka nga ko de oy Iliman, the youngest minister. The naka la ko de mo youth minister. Before he comes in, I would like to say this. We are gathered here in the name of football, but during his time, sports and sport development no longer there. There are some sports they wouldn't or will dare stand anywhere and say they only give the money to football. There are so many associations as we speak today. They dare not say that. Unlike what used to happen before, we have always been attacked that you give all the money to football. But during Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, who is Honorable Baji's time, definitely he has definitely empowered the National Sports Council. The President said it. This is the first time we are organizing such an unveiling. And it was all coordinated and organized by the National Sports Council under his leadership. He empowered us to do all of these things. And according to the act, it's been clear, but he's the one that really gave us that leverage and made sure that whenever associations go to him, he's like, for us, between the ministry and the national associations is the National Sports Council, so kindly go back there and your issues will be. He's taking a small break. Small break.
Assalamu alaikum. Dama bëgg ngeen tàccul honorable ba pare. Kii mooy the most successful honorable minister. Lu kenn amul ci Gambia loolu nga am. Depuis taali suñu maam. Ba taali kooku noonu keneen ki ku ma ko dugal. Kenn qualify. Ku ñëw rek next time. Next time yàlla baax. Yàlla baax. Nga ñëw rek Gambia qualify ak boo dafa am ko back to back.
Thank you.
Kenn amul ko yow rek yaa ko am ila jamono biata Bakary Badji doxalal final coach wa bi coach thank you very serious thank you here is Gambia. Thank you. Welcome to the Gambia. Thank you for the service.
Thank you very much.
Eliman, thank you for that. Good morning to the president of the Gambia Football Federation, Mr. Kababajo, our new coach, and I guess here we call each other a brother, so we want to say welcome, and to the chairman of the National Sport Council, Mr. Jawara, the executive director, Mr. Jawla, and General Secretary or the CEO of the Gambia Football Federation, Mr. Lamin Jase, and all the staffs of the ministry that are here, as well as the staffs of the Gambia Football Federation, including the EXCO members and all the technical staffs, our friends from the fans club, the Scope Fans Club, all the other invited dignitaries, friends from the media, good morning. Really, for me, this was really going to be a very short ceremony. It's a signing and unveiling ceremony, and so the speeches are not really going to be long, necessary as they might be. But first, I want to start by first congratulating Mr. Jonathan McKentry for his appointment as the new coach of the Gambia Scorpions, and also to wish him the very best of luck in his tenure as coach of the Gambia. And to all of you that have been part of the process, the General Secretary, the Executive Director, and everybody that was part of the Technical Committee of the Football Federation that have worked in collaboration with us to ensure that we identify what in our own level is considered to be the best among all the applicants, and that is Mr. Jonathan. Like others said, there has been a very competitive process of selecting among the many applicants that we had. And some of us, when we reported this somewhere that we had 90 applicants, colleagues were surprised that Little Gambia would attract that huge number of applicants for the role of a coach. But like others said, it is not a surprise because every coach out there who follows the Gambian team would know that we have registered a progressive success over the past years in our football. And every other person would be interested in being part of that process of development of football in the country, as well as at the international level. And that's what I believe is the reason why we had that much number of applicants. But what is good is that Mr. Jonathan was selected or shortlisted and eventually chosen to be, like we put it, the most top-rated among the ones that were selected. So for the Gambia, Mr. Jonathan, we believe that you are the best coach out there, and we expect that that belief would be upheld by you, and you will be able to give us the results that we anticipate from a coach. But the support would be there from our side as a ministry, as a government, and like the president also said, the federation will be supportive towards your role and will give you the free hand to do what you think is best in delivering us to the promised land. And coming in at a time that Gambia has gone to AFCON twice consecutively is a very difficult task because the expectation is higher now than before. The deliverables are even higher now than it has been in the past, for the reason that we have gone to AFCON in 2021 and gone back to AFCON in 2023. And sometimes they say when you bars are raised too high, the ones that come after have a bigger task. And I think that is the task that you have. And I know you understand that very well, because from what I was told, you've been following our national team over the years. And I was told that immediately you were offered the job, you have already gone in to contact quite a number of players, even before you signed the contract. That for us is a sign that this person is ready to take over the Scorpions and will be able to do his best. But to the population and all of us, I know we expect too much, And we experienced it in the last AFCON because we went to first AFCON and went all the way to the quarterfinal. And every Gambian thought when we go back for the second AFCON, we should go beyond the. And yes, that's what we wanted, but it didn't happen. But if you're a journalist, if you're a sport enthusiast, you know that sports, especially, and yes, sometimes it's about technique, sometimes about finance. There's nobody who is going to be giving a task to do something good for the country and you fail. It is no interest. So anytime we do well, we should all celebrate and know that we've achieved what we all want. Our expectation in line with the realities of the Gambia. That is by no means the higher heights, and we should all work towards it. And to the media, I might not be the right person to say this, but I just want to be asked. I will want to once again say we are happy that we have, after a few months of a process, after the departure of Tom Sanford, we have been able to work together. Coast of Africa, and that's because people are perceived to be generally happy. Football sometimes makes us sad, but that is only when we don't get the results. But to register countries, and we want you to register higher.
According to your biography, you will definitely deliver and do well, and the level of commitment so far. Next, I'll call on my able boss, the Acting Executive Director of the National Sports Council, Mr. Mahmoud Lamin Jawla.
Thank you very much, Aidaba. Thank you. Thank you. The Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, the President of the Gambia Football Federation, Chairman of the National Sports Council, Council members here present, PIA and NYSS, the second Vice President of the GFF, staff of the National Sports Council, staff of the GFF, the CEO, Gambia Football Federation, the Scorpion fans here present, the newly appointed coach, Jonathan McKinstry, the press here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored and privileged to express my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation of the presence of the important people here present on this very vital occasion. Your presence here shows how important this activity is, and also shows how supportive you are towards the development of sports, and most particularly football. This will go a long way in fostering a very smooth relationship between the different institutions present here towards the development of football. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to officially effect the signing and unveiling ceremony of the senior national football team coach in the person of Jonathan McKenzie. You'll all agree with me that today marks a very significant milestone in the annals of history of football development in the Gambia. It is significant due to the undisputable fact that this is the first time in the history of Gambian football that the signing of a national football team coach is officially done in such a grand style. This is a clear manifestation of how interested and serious the government of the Gambia is as far as the attainment of unprecedented success in football at elite level is concerned. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to briefly hint you on the processes undertaken by the Ministry of Youth and Sports through the National Sports Council and the Gambia Football Federation in order to reach this level. But prior to that, you may recall that in January 2023, immediately after the Gambia's early exit from the AFCON in the first round, the coach in charge of the senior national Scorpions resigned. Right from that juncture, discussions regarding the replacement of Coach Tom Senford commenced. Formal consultations between the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the GFF backed open. Thereon, the green light was given to the Gambia Football Federation upon their request to advertise the position of the top job in the national team. As you may all be aware, because it went viral, over 90 coaches from across Africa and Europe tendered their interest through formal applications. Honorable personalities here present, ladies and gentlemen, those applicants include our own brother, a homegrown coach, our former captain in the person of Abdul T. Jammeh. I implore on you to give a round of applause to our own brother. It also shows how far the Gambia Football Federation has gone in preparing our own people for the future. To start the recruitment processes of our national team coach. And as part of this panel, it will be important for all of us to know, because this is history, so that people know those that were a part of this committee to steer the affairs of the recruitment of a national team coach. And in this committee, we have the second vice president of the Gambia Football Federation as the chairperson of the committee, Mr. Ibufai, and my humble self, Mahmoud Lamin Jawla, representative of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We have Bakari K. Jammeh, a member, the CEO, Bakari K. Jammeh as the first vice president, the CEO and General Secretary of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin M. Jassy, the Technical Director, Sang John Dong, President of the Gambia Coaches Association, Keba Toure, Bai Male Wada, we all know, our former international footballer, captain of the national team, former in the Gambia, and as well as Kenya, where the coach recently came from. And we have Demba Konate, alias Modu Boya. Yeah. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this was followed by a thorough scrutinization process to shortlist and interview 5 most qualified coaches from the 27 identified coaches out of the 90. These 27 identified coaches were further scrutinized, and then the list was reduced to 5. It is in these 5 that an interview was conducted, which our Gambian brother, our former captain, was part of, and they were scored and ranked in the order of the highest points received cumulatively during the interview. It is as a result of this process that Mr. Jonathan McKinstry emerged as the most rated and therefore placed at first choice for the job, an offer he accepted. Ladies and gentlemen, this was possible because of the smooth collaboration between the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Gambia Football Federation. I felt I would not do justice if I did not reiterate what has been alluded to by the President of the Gambia Football Federation and the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, that it is high time as a country, despite our differences, because this is normal wherever you go, the most developed interest clashes with the interests of the masses, not of the individual suffers. So it is our duty as football lovers, as lovers of the Gambia, as lovers of sports, to come together, put our differences aside, and work towards the success I thank you for coming and ensure the Gambia Football Federation that the so many families are enjoying today. They have given their back to hardship. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Coach, congratulations. Congratulations once again. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Acting ED, for taking us through the process, and most importantly, identifying the technical committee members who has sat and made the decision of appointing Mr. Kenstray as the head coach of the senior national football team. Next on the program is the statement by the national BB will come in to read the biography. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and this as brief as possible, and it tells us July 1985, is a Northern Irish football manager who is the current head coach of Kenyan Premier League club Gor Mahia. McKinstry is the first person from Northern Ireland to manage 3 international football teams. Departure from his role with the Irish FA on 21st April 2020, McKinstry became the only person from Northern Ireland active McKinstry has the best winning record in international football of anyone from Northern Ireland. Of Barty Peacock with 39%. Previously, McKinstry managed the Rwanda national team, the Sierra Leone national team, Kono Algiers in the Saif SC of the Bangladesh Football Premier League, and the Uganda national football team. Whilst in charge of Sierra Leone, McKinstry was the youngest international manager in Now let's look at his career. McKinstry has coached in several countries: Northern Ireland, England, USA, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Lithuania, Bangladesh, and Uganda. His early career was foundation. In 2013, McKinstry moved into senior professional football when he was whom he guided to their highest ever FIFA them to the final of the 2015 Sekafa Cup and quarterfinals of the 2016 African Nations Championship, Kano Algiers of Lithuania, A-Liga Saif SC of the Bangladesh Football Premier League, and the Uganda national football team. McKinstry has also been linked with several other roles. 7 applicants for the vacant Cameroon national team job. It was also confirmed by officials of the Football Association of Zambia in June 2018 that McKinstry has made the final 2-man shortlist of candidates under consideration to be named head coach of the Zambian national football team. We go to Sierra Leone. On 11 April 2013, McKinstry was appointed as the manager of Sierra Leone following the resignation of Swedish coach Lars Olof Mattsson, becoming the youngest active international head coach in world football. McKinstry spoke about his desire to be awarded the job on a permanent basis and was subsequently retained as head coach for the 2015 CAF Nations Cup qualifiers. Rwanda national team. In March 2015, he was confirmed as the new Rwanda manager. In his first competitive game in charge, McKinstry guided Rwanda to their first away win in 4 years with a 1-0 victory over Mozambique in the opening round of 2017 African Nations Cup qualifying. In December 2015, Rwanda finished as runners-up in the Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup, defeating host Ethiopia, reigning champions Kenya, and the previous tournament en route to the final before losing 1-0 to Uganda. The most successful team in the region, who claimed their 14th title. McKinstry was named coach of the tournament by sponsors DSTV. In January 2016, McKinstry led Rwanda to the knockout stages of a major competition for the first time in their history, when he guided them to first place in Group A of the 2016 edition of the CAF African Cup Nations Championship and qualifications for the quarterfinals. The results obtained in his 12 months at the help of Rwandan football were recognized, where in March 2016, the Rwanda Football Federation rewarded McKinstry with a new 2-year contract that would see him remain as head coach until 2018. And shortly after the extension of McKinstry's Kauno Algiers. On 24, it was announced that McKinstry as new head coach for the remainder of the 2017 A-Liga season. 2018, McKinstry was named as the new head coach of Bangladesh Premier League side Saif SC, replacing man Stewart Hall. McKinstry assumed control of the team from 10th November 2018 ahead of the 2018-2019 Bangladesh Football Premier League season. On 6 April 2019, Saif FC defeated Nofel SC 1-0 in the Bangladesh Premier League 2018-2019 season. This victory saw McKinstry became the head coach with the greatest number of competitive victories in the club's history. And now to Uganda national team. On 30th September 2019, McKinstry signed a 3-year contract as head coach of the Uganda national football team, replacing Frenchman Sebastien Deschamps, who took up a head coaching position with Pyramids FC of Egypt in July 2019. McKinstry was selected from a pool of 137 applicants, including Africa Cup of Nations winning coach Hugo Bruch. Federation of Uganda Football Association CEO Edgar Watson outlined that the federation settled on McKinstry as he fits in our vision of being the number one footballing nation in Africa. Upon his appointment, McKinstry outlined that his ambitions for the team not only extended to returning to the Africa Cup of Nations, but also to guide Uganda to their first ever FIFA World Cup. On 19 December 2019, McKinstry guided Uganda to victory in the 2019 Sekafa Cup, winning all 6 games throughout the tournament. In his 18 months in charge, McKinstry recorded a 67% win rate from 18 games, including 12 wins, 3 draws, and only 3 defeats. This represents the best win and undefeated record of any Uganda national team coach in over 15 years. And Gor Mahia FC in Kenya. Until his appointment as head coach of the senior national Scorpions, McKinstry was head coach and was due to off-field issues, struggling to raise enough players to conduct effective training sessions at the time of his arrival. Despite these challenges, his first session at the club would end in success, guiding Gor Mahia to win the Kenya Premier League title. 2 months later, McKinstry and Gor Mahia would once again be collecting silverware when they won the 2023-24 FKF Charity Seal with a win over Kagema Homeboys. McKinstry, is that right? Kagema Homeboys. And now to his charitable work. In November 2018, it was confirmed that McKinstry has joined Common Goal Charity, launched with the support of this footballer One Mata in August 2017. The movement encourages professional football players and coaches to pledge at least 1% of their salaries to a collective fund that supports football charities around the world. Upon joining, McKinstry, through his work with Common Goal, he wishes to give back to the sport that he has given him so much. McKinstry also supports the work of the Sir Stanley Matthews Foundation through his role as an expert in the field of teamwork. Sir Stanley Matthews Foundation develops and educates young people by establishing sports projects across the globe. That's the summary of the biography of Coach Jonathan McKinstry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we will have the signing ceremony. CEO and Secretary General Gambian Football Federation. Is everything set for the signing? That was a profile of Mr. Jonathan. Jonathan will sign. The acting executive director of the National Sports Council, Mr. Mahmoud Jalga, will sign on behalf of government. And the Football Federation will sign as witness. as the historic signing ceremony begins.
That is the
Gambian Football Federation
signing
will
ceremony on
sign
the way.
as the witness. Mr. Kababa.
And the GFF President, Mr. Lamin Kababajo, will. Yes.
Mr. Java is the acting executive director of the executive director of the National Sports Council, who signs on behalf of the government of the Gambia.
The president will, the GFF president, I mean, will
Yes.
Come later
And sign as the witness.
and sign as the witness. There are many witnesses here, but the GFF president is the official witness.
Official witness.
The minister is also giraffing from his seat. Yeah, and the chairman of the Sports Council, Mr. Gamin S. Jawara, is also watching. The GFF General Secretary is facilitating the process of this signing event. Either we also have to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Ibrahim Amane,
Council
former
Director of the Gambian Football Federation and council member of the National Sports Council.
Council, yeah. But once the technical director is
Always
always
a
technical director.
So the president of the Gambian Football Federation is now signing
The president is signing now.
as the official witness
Witness.
to this contract
Yes.
between the Gambian government and Jonathan McKenzie.
McKenzie. President Bajo is building up indelible records
Yes.
in Gambian football since his assumption of into office from 2014. Led us to two successive Africa Cup of Nations finals. It's not preceding, like you said before. So also is the Minister of
Youth and Sports.
Sports,
Definitely.
Mr. Bakari Waipaji, been part of the historic development as far as Gambian football is concerned.
And today they are
Next,
here.
next up is Ivory Coast. Next up is Morocco 2025, right?
Yes.
We'll be there.
We will be there for sure, inshallah.
With the minister, with the president, all of us will be there. Everybody, Mbake and
We will all be in Morocco for sure, at the Arabs.
Amur Kamar Finnar, and all the guys will all be there in Morocco. Yes.
Inshallah. Be in Marrakesh, Rabat, or Casablanca, but we will be there. Get ready. And members of the press,
Because of the
you by
press.
MS, you all get ready for Morocco. The Honorable Minister will now join there.
No.
It's just a ceremonial thing. Remember, the National Sports Council always sign on behalf of the government of Gambia. We will now join in.
We have the handing over.
Signed documents.
That's the exchange of the documents now. It's a very important process.
Of course, and this
And,
is the first time we are having such a signing ceremony.
Exactly.
Congratulations
those.
to Coach Jonathan McKenzie. And we hope to have a first signing ceremony extending his contract.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Coach. And there you go.
There you go. History.
Two witnesses.
Two witnesses.
The Honorable Minister and the President of the Gambian Football Federation, Coach McKenzie and Mr. Mahmoud Jawla. Congratulations, Coach.
Congratulations.
That is your new Scorpions coach. Congratulations.
Signed
Good
and
job.
sealed.
Signed, sealed, and handed over.
Done.
And henceforth
And his process, official night
is our World Cup qualifiers against Seychelles and Gabon.
in
June.
Morocco.
Honey,
So
take charge.
the best of luck.
Take charge.
The That brings us to the end of the official signing ceremony. Once again, Coach Jonathan McKinstry, congratulations. And we look forward to celebrating many success of the senior national team coach. The inspiring thing for me from his CV is that he has a background of developing young people in some of the things that we need in this country. The Secretary General and President, Football Federation, former technical director and others would help remind me about the schoolboy internationals. And this is the glory that we want to bring back so that we can definitely scout them from here and discover the talents at a very early age. So it's good that he also has those qualifications according to his CV. Next on the program, honey, we will now have statement of the coach himself, Mr. Jonathan McKenzie. I wrote so far you've already learned 1 or 2 words in Wolof or something common in our local language. Anything? Not yet. Then the floor is all yours. I'm so
Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Coach, welcome to the Gambia. Coach, thank you very serious. We want to qualify Morocco. Morocco, we want to go high. Final. This thing very careful. I want to go final. Morocco.
Thank you.
I was at final.
Thank you.
And this one, the other one, final.
Thank you.
Thank you very serious.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, to the Honourable Minister, to the Chairperson, to the Acting Executive Director of the National Sports Council and the Ministry of Youth and Sport, to the President of the GFF and the CEO, General Secretary of the GFF, thank you very much for your very warm and heartfelt welcome, not just this morning, but also over the previous weeks as we've reached this point. To everybody in the room, to technical staff of the GFF, to the supporters club, to the media, to everyone else in the room here today, and also the people listening and watching at home across the Gambia and around the world. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. It is a huge privilege to be here. I'm going to keep this very short because I know we do have a press conference coming up, but I just wanted to reiterate something that I think almost everybody has said that has been hugely encouraging to me as a coach and as a person, but also hugely motivating, is the collaborative nature of this appointment and coming together. When I first spoke via that digital sort of Teams meeting, it's hard to remember how many people were in the room. There was maybe 10, 12, 15 people involved in those early conversations. And as a coach, when you see something like that, you see togetherness, you see unity, you see a shared vision. And especially in international football, the only way we can succeed is together. I, in my time in the game, have been in many countries with many teams, many federations, and often the problems arise when there is not unity, when there is not togetherness. And so to see how closely the government of the Gambia, how the National Sports Council, how the Ministry and how the Football Federation are coming together for the future success of football in this country gives me huge hope for not just the next 2 years together, but hopefully many years beyond that as well. So I said I was going to keep it short. The one thing I just want to assure everybody, and I know we'll get into more detail when we get into the press conference, but for me, there is only one direction we are going, and that is forward. That is not just as a nation, it is as a federation, as a government, as a sports council. It's as a team in terms of our mentality about the game. Forward. We want to go forward. Every step we want to take is forward. Every level that we achieve is forward. And the other thing is that to do that, to move forward, the only way we can do that is to do it together. And so for me and my team of technical staff at the Federation, of the players, that will be our strap line every day we come to work. We are going forward and we are doing it together. And I invite the media, I invite the supporters, I invite the general public of the Gambia, both here in country and the diaspora around the world, to join us on that journey as we move forward together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach. And you heard him, togetherness.
Yes.
And
Unity. We put all our concerted efforts and synergies together. One nation, one Gambia, one national team, one Scorpions. Without much ado, let's continue. And this time we will call on the General Secretary and CEO of Gambia Football Federation, the Honorable Lamin M. Jassi, for the
vote of
vote of
thanks.
thanks.
Remember,
Cheers.
this is our football show. Entirely yours. All right. Thank you, Mr.
Good morning. Hello, good morning. Let me get my mic sorted. Right. To do the tradition to observe the presence of the dignitaries here, Honorable Minister Bajo, the chairman of the Sports Council, our brother, Mr. Lyman Jawara, the acting executive secretary, Mr. Mahmoud Jaula, my partner in this process, the second vice president, Ibu Fai, who has really played a pivotal role as chairman of the Technical and Development Committee, executive member Aret Jaija, staffs of other members of the Technical and Development Committee, members of the Sports Council Board, staff of the Sports Council and the staff of the Gambia. The Scorpion Fans Club, our friends, the media, of the Minister of Youth and Sports, and all who are here in this hall. My role is very simple today, is just to say thank you. To thank you on behalf of the GFF, but also to thank you on behalf of the ministry. And that says a lot. But before I go into thanking you, I think, coaches, your speech had inspired me. It reminded me of an African proverb, which says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together with people. And that is what you have just said here. I am touched by that statement, that you had you mentioned two things, and I hope the journalists have taken note of this. We want to move forward, but we want to do it together. And he has seen this togetherness from the process, from the start of the process. And that brings me to the all-time high collaboration between the Gambia, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the Gambia Football Federation. Some of us, maybe you cannot go delve into the early 80s, but at least we know from the 90s we've been around, we've been in the boardroom, Honorable Minister. We have been groomed by the doings of Gambian football. Ibu Seka is here, I think he can attest to that. We know some history. And I think if I stand here, I can stand with authority to say that the relationship between the ministry and the GFF is all-time high.
Evidence of that is this today, that we have never had a committee, a joint committee together to recruit anybody, talk less of a coach, a national team coach. So, Honorable Minister, this credit goes to you and my boss, Lamin Kababajo, under your leadership. Because whatever we are your servants. We serve you as our principals. Without your collaboration, without your guidance, we would not have achieved this thing. But Honorable Minister himself said when standards are set, now it's now difficult to maintain those standards. So the challenge for my two leaders are to maintain this new relationship. I call it a new relationship. I'm not going to bore you with the process, but I can tell you that the ministry has been involved from the advertisement, passing specification, which kind of code do we want? They've been involved from there to the last day, to the negotiation, to the day that Jonathan had agreed and for us to sign. It's unprecedented. And I want to take this opportunity really to thank Mr. Jawla, who has been representing the ministry in all those meetings. And I hope that this will continue. I think it's also important that if you don't know where you are going, you end up somewhere else. Coach has already mapped out where we want to go. Forward, not backward. But what journey did we travel? I think it's also important to just highlight that a little. We have achieved a lot in football as a nation, but recently our achievement is unprecedented. People mention expectation. Expectations were not only high in the Gambia, expectations were also high outside of the Gambia. Gambia is no longer regarded as an underdog. Gambia is regarded as a giant in African football. And therefore, we are treated that way. And as such, we may take ourselves to be at least an underdog, but we are not seen as one. And this is something that is done through hard work. It's through achievement that we have registered this together. And I have no doubt that it will happen again for the third time. I have full hope. I heard Ida say he wants to go to Morocco. Don't worry. Jonathan will take us to Morocco. I have no doubt about that. And that is the spirit. The sports administrators, but that spirit should be the media. The minister mentioned the media. When it comes to Gambia, when it comes to the national team, it's our pride. It's not Mr. Bakari Baji, or Ibu Seka or Lamin Jasi. It's the Gambia. The team wears our national jersey. The team is not called the EFF. The Gambia. If you're a citizen of this country, we should all do everything possible to rally back for ourselves. I think that is very important. We are starting a